Speaking of drugs, I scored this cabinet, which is kind of cool. So for those of you who don't know what that is, just think, you know, it's a nursing home type of setting. And, well, medication time. Medication time. Yeah, Nurse Ratchet's going to make you take your meds. Anyways, this is a med cart, pharmaceutical cart. This has got a plastic tray on the top here, workspace. It's got lockable drawers. It did have the key with it, so I've got the key. It's got a cabinet with some drawers inside here, I believe. I wish I had the key. I'd show you the inside. But this is made by the NK Medicated Products Incorporated. Well, I guess that might be in the name of maybe that label was just stuck on there by a pharmaceutical company or something. NK Medical Products Incorporated. Out of Buffalo, New York, and they got their phone number here and everything. Well, maybe they did make this car. It's got really nice casters on it. It rolls around like a dream. You know, the drawers are nice and everything. I just figured this would make a great little cart for down in the basement shop there. So eventually this is going to get down there. There was a clamp I bolted on the side. I took off, there was a box on the side for needles, what they call sharps in that trade. Nurses and doctors call spent needles sharps, and they have a special way to get rid of those. I took that off and got rid of that, properly disposed of that. And then there was also a gooseneck thing for a microphone on the top here that the keys were hanging on. And I'm not sure why that microphone thing might have been on there. So I don't know whether or not they actually had a PA hooked up to this, or maybe they would yell for the hard of hearing, "Come get your meds, come and get it." But neat cabinet. There was another one there that was made out of mostly like pressboard and weighed a ton. So that one went out, had some metal on it. But this is pretty much like an all metal cabinet. And I like this cabinet, and boy, I'll tell you, for free, that was a no-brainer to grab that. So there's the top there. It's, like I said, it's a plastic tray on the top there, so that when you're dispensing out pills and stuff like that, if you knock over your little pill cups there, they don't go out all over the floor. This is the first thing I encountered when I went into the boiler room downstairs, and I snagged this right away. And this is a Airmaster P30G-2 pedestal fan. It's got 3 blades on it, and it's a tall sucker. So let me just stand next to it and try to give you an idea of the size of this thing. So I'm 6 feet tall, so the top of the fan is over 6 feet. The diameter of this thing, it looks to be like about a 24-inch diameter fan. Maybe it's a 30. That might be the P30. Might be it's a 30-inch. I don't know. This is scratched off, so I can't see it, but it's an Airmaster by the Something Ventilators. Looks like maybe Jackson, Chicago. So this is old school. They don't make them like this anymore. I mean, they still make big pedestal fans, but not as sturdy as this sucker. And as if this thing wasn't tall enough, I just realized, because I kind of forgot about it, but back here, I can see this is telescoping. This is a telescopic stand. So there's a square-headed bolt I can loosen here, and then I could actually raise this up even higher. So who the hell knows how tall this thing gets. I plugged this thing in before I hauled it out of the basement, and it runs like a dream. But during the summer, a couple of times I was kind of looking around to see if I could find one like this for my workshop. And I didn't find any that were decently priced. And then I just kind of, it was funny, I kind of had in my head that, gee, now I really wanted one of these fans. And then I got this one. I'll use my flashlight on my phone, see if I can't read this. This says the Airmaster Fan Company, Fan Air Circulator. And it's got a whole model on here. It's 115 volt, thermally protected, yada, yada, yada. But that's a cool old fan. This was actually supposed to go in scrap metal, believe it or not. It was supposed to be hauled out to the parking lot for scrap metal and thrown into the scrap dumpster. But I talked to the dumpster guy who was handling all the scrap metal, was on site, and I cleared it with him before I hauled it out. And he said, yeah, he said, no problem, go ahead and take it. So I thanked him. I was very happy to get this fan. Let's just say I'm a fan of this fan. So I just made kind of a goofy joke right there, and it reminded me that somebody was just made a comment about the last hat that I was wearing at the end of the unloading of the Suzuki DT150 outboard video. I'm outside, it's cold, I'm wearing a hat. And it's an orange hat like this, but it's not as stylish as this one. So somebody made a comment about it. It was kind of a funny comment. You know, if you get a chance to read the comments on that video, you'll see it. But anyways, so today I'm wearing this hat. How do you like this one? Hey, it's keeping my ears warm. It's flipping cold out here. All right, so next. All right, so these two items were not freebies, but they were pretty close to it. I ran into a guy at the flea market, I think it was, or somewhere. I ran into a guy at the flea market. He was a new arrival at the flea market. He only was there for a few weeks, and then he had to stop going there. But during the time that I met him, we got to talking, and I said, well, do you have any other, you know, larger things? And he said, well, yeah. He says, I got a container, like one of those cargo containers that he has for storage. And he says, I'm working on cleaning it out. And he says, I know I got a drill press in there. It's a big one. And he said, wow. He said, all I had to hear was that he had a big, old, heavy drill press and that he wanted $25 for it. And that was enough for me to make the trip and pilgrimage up there and bust my behind hauling this thing out. This thing was heavy. But what this is, it kind of doesn't look so great now because I had to disassemble it because it was so heavy. Working alone for the most part, getting this thing loaded, I took it all apart. So what this is a Delta Rockwell. Now, for those of you guys who know these old drill presses, this might help you. All right, maybe it's starting to look a little bit more like something you've seen. It's got ridges in the top here. It's got this big opening here. It's got this rod that actually sticks down in there that allows you to take this cover and raise the cover up and leave it raised up so you can adjust your change your belts. The other cool thing about this drill press is it has the original automatic downfeed mechanism, which I think this was an add-on on these drill presses. So I think this same drill press came without this or with this. This one has it. It even has this nice casting. None of the castings are broken yet. I hopefully won't break one. Forgive my stuttering and stammering. Look at this cast iron table. What a beast. It's got the little trough there for the cutting oil to go into, or cutting fluid. I don't think there's too many boo-boos in the in the cast iron here. It's rusty as heck, but I think once it's cleaned up, no problem. This is going to be a nice drill press. My biggest problem with this drill press is that if I fix this drill press up and get it running and have it in the shop, it's going to be really hard for me to justify keeping that old SIP drill press because that SIP is a monster. This is just, you know, this is more close to the perfect size, I think, for my shop and my purposes. So just another quick look at this thing. Not going to get too hung up on looking at this right now because this is going to be a series of its own where I get this thing, you know, all cleaned up and serviceable. There's what I'm almost positive is the original motor for the thing because it's actually got the, I think it's got the Delta Rockwell name on that nameplate barely visible. What's great about that motor being the original one is because that's a double-ended shaft on that motor because the top shaft is for the pulley that drives the spindle, And then there's a bottom shaft with a pulley, set of step pulleys that allows you to run the auto feed and change the speeds on the auto feed. And that auto feed, of course, is for the quill, down feed. So while I was in his container there looking at stuff, I spotted this little bandsaw, and this is a Justin, Justen, Justin bandsaw. This is an import. Looks like it's been around for a while. I think he said he actually was a distributor for these at one point. And you know, it wouldn't be my first choice, but the thing is, it was right there, and we got a package deal. So I ended up getting this bandsaw, which needs work, and the drill press for $60. So I figured I'm into this for 40, and I'm into the drill press for 20, which I'm okay with that. But this is something I think I'm going to get fixed up and put in the shop. And you know, I don't cut big honking things, or at least right now I don't. So I think that'll, provided I can put it back together and make it work. The first thing I noticed about it was the rubber, the tires, the wheels, the drive wheels or whatever you call them there, they have rubber on them that's all dry rotted and cracked. So those are going to have to be replaced. I don't know whether or not that's as simple as just maybe you can even use V-belts if you cut them to size and glue them in there. I'm not sure. Well, I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. And I was pretty happy with the deal he gave me on those two items, even though I had to really do some hard work to take it apart and get it loaded into my little pickup truck and get it home. But on top of everything else, I spotted this and inquired about it early on. And then when we ended up getting down the brass tacks, he threw this in no charge. And those of you who have tractors will recognize that this is a tow bar for a 3-point hitch setup. So your end of these rods would go into the ends of the arms on your 3-point, and that turns your 3-point hitch into a tow hitch or a tow bar. And then you get all these rods here, so you can actually offset whatever you're towing, which is kind of nice. And this, by the looks of it, is an old one. It's even got the remnants of some red paint on here, which might be Farm All or International. I don't know. I think I got one of these with the IH350 utility tractor that I bought. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure I did get one of these. But this one just looks nice and beefy and good old American steel there, I believe. So that's why I inquired about it, and then he just ended up throwing it in. So that was nice. Oh, I almost forgot about this item, because it's been sitting here in the backyard as my little roll-around work table. But this is a stainless steel table that came out of the kitchen that was in the basement. It's an industrial kitchen. There was a ton of stainless steel in there that went to the scrapyard, but I was able to rescue this table. This is on pretty decent casters that are kind of corroded because it was really damp down in that basement area. I think the heat in that building was off for a while. And then here on these shelves right here, these metal racks actually were sitting down here on here like this. I don't remember how they were. But anyways, this is really cool. I had somebody here at the house who came by to buy some cabinets that I was selling because I'm kind of rearranging some things in the workshop area. He spotted this table and he would have loved to have bought it. He commented that he thought it would make an excellent welding table. It is damn strong. I weigh a little over 200 pounds, around 210, 215 right now. My winter weight. Anyways, this is a nice strong table of stainless steel. So yeah, I'm going to keep that for a while, I think. And this is the final item. I found this down in the basement. And this is some sort of a table that it's all metal, and it's got this old white paint on it. And I mean, it's just got this look of like really old hospital looking type of thing, you know. I don't know what it is about this. I just thought it was really cool. You can see how this is made. It's got these really neat brackets. Yeah, I mean, you got to be kind of into old antiques and stuff to appreciate this, but this is just something kind of neat. And these are the plate glass shelves that went on it. So it had 3 glass shelves on it. And the corner of a couple of the shelves are a little bit chipped, but no big cracks in them. I think this might be the kind of thing that Mike from American Pickers would probably really like. You know, he'd take a look and say, it's got the right look to it or something like that. He'd have some clever thing. And then, of course, if there was a good backstory to it, if it was like, the guy's grandmother worked as a nurse and took care of, soldiers who were coming home from World War II, and this was in the hospital or something. If there was a good story, or if it came out of like a psych ward in like a notorious mental institution, you gotta have a good story behind it to make it really saleable, I guess. So I don't really know if I'm going to be able to. I'd like to sell it to somebody who's going to appreciate it as an antique. I can't really think of a place to put it in my house, but to me, it just struck me as being too neat and cool looking to just allow it to be thrown into the dumpster for scrap metal.